We might be too young to have a spotted cow, but we are both diehard Packers fans.
I could talk about this for hours.
He was my legend. He was my quarterback one. Taysom Hill, forever in my heart.
We have a kind of a reputation of being the young and diehard fans. How is that, Dr. Pepper Taysom?
Amazing.
Okay, good. Let's keep it under 25 minutes, all right?
Welcome back to the Underage Packers podcast experience. We've got a lot on hand today. It's been a busy week since we last recorded here talking about the Steelers game this Tuesday. Today, we're here to preview the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Green Bay Packers at Paul Brown Stadium. It should be a fun one. I'm Joey, one of your co-hosts. I'm so excited for the handful of topics today. Joining me all decked out in his Milwaukee Brewers gear is my co-host, Big B. Big B, how you feeling today? Brewers game is currently happening as we speak.
Yes, they just hit a 2-run bomb, Roddy Tellez. So I am hype. Let's go, baby.
Some of the best content I've ever consumed is your Instagram lives that you would do during the Milwaukee Brewers games sometime last year. I mean, it was first few games of the season, and you would get so frustrated, so flustered. I don't know if I could bear to watch any sporting event that you were passionate about with you. I mean,
yeah.
I think that says good things about your fandom, though. If people don't outside of your family don't want to watch a game with you, and shoot, man, you are really diehard.
Yep.
Well, like I mentioned today, we got a long list of injuries to talk about, which we'll try not to bore you out too long with that. We'll talk about the Bengals game, and then we'll talk about the signings that did not happen this week at 12:65. Big B, you ready?
I think so.
Okay, I just want to mention one thing here with the Brewers in the playoffs right now. I'm not necessarily rooting for the Brewers to. Let's see. How should I phrase this here?
Okay.
I have a certain loyalty to St. Louis Cardinals. I live 30 minutes away from Busch Stadium. I know that's a very controversial. I'm probably going to be canceled tonight on Packers Twitter. I don't know if that many people care about me enough, but I feel a certain loyalty to the Cardinals. But I am definitely, Cardinals are out as of now, or as of, they're not getting back in. They're out. So I am rooting, though, for the possibility that would be all three Wisconsin professional sports teams winning their respective sports titles. The Bucks have got it done. Let's get to in Milwaukee, and then their friends up north in Green Bay will get it done in February.
Oh yeah.
Get the trifecta done.
Let's do it.
But let's get into some Packers football here. Long list of injuries for the Packers. The most devastating as of now, one that has had people on the edge of their seats, is update on Jair Alexander. We've got one today. He is out against the Cincinnati Bengals as expected. He is hopefully back in a few weeks. Today we got more of an optimistic update from Coach Matt LaFleur, who said surgery is most likely out of the picture, unlikely as of now. Hopefully back in a few weeks for a short-term injury for the second-team All-Pro. Should have been first-team All-Pro over Jair Alexander or over Xavier Howard, but for some reason the AP All-Pro, whoever decides to All-Pro, those bunch of jerks, they think that Xavier Howard's interceptions are more sexy than Jair Alexander lockdown coverage every week. Sorry for going off there, but it doesn't even matter to the conversation. I was just thinking of a way to transition off Jair, and now we're here talking about all pros that don't matter. He'll get the first team All Pro this upcoming year. Okay, next up, Elton Jenkins. He's been out the past 2 weeks with an ankle injury. We were all scared. What are the Green Bay Packers going to do going up against two scary fronts in San Fran and then Pittsburgh? They held up well. He is still questionable with that ankle injury this week against Cincy. Trey Hendrickson lining up against the Packers this week. So It's not to say that the Bengals don't have anybody, because they have Trey. But outside of that, they are pale in comparison to either Pittsburgh or 49ers. Next up, moving also along the offensive line, we got Josh Myers, who is out with a finger injury that developed this past week. Doctors aren't going to let him go. Offensive tackle who has not seen the field yet. He was signed this offseason from the Tennessee Titans. Dennis Kelly is questionable with an illness. So, Big B, there's a lot of going on along the offensive line. There has been for the past few weeks. You tweeted your prediction out earlier today, but let's hear yours. Well, we'll go with the optimistic idea that Elton Jenkins ends up playing. What is your prediction for the Packers starting offensive line this week?
Well, I think Elton Jenkins will get the start at left tackle, John Runyon at left guard, and then Lucas Patrick at center with Royce Newman at right guard and Billy Turner at right tackle.
Yeah, I think it really comes down to who do the Packers trust more? Do they trust Lucas Patrick, who has plenty of experience at starting at center, or do they want to, move Elton over to center and then trust Yash Nyman, who has played really well these past two games, first two starts in the NFL, playing really well against Nick Bosa, TJ Watt, some really great pass rushers. So we'll have to see who they end up going with. Either way, Elton Jenkins, I would be pretty surprised if they throw him out there at left guard, his natural position. So be interesting to watch what the Packers come out with. And then Dennis Kelly also might play a part in that if he's recovered from his non-COVID related illness by game time. All right, that's all we got. I thought we were in the clear. I thought we covered all the major injuries, but Chauncey Rivers this past Thursday was placed on injured reserve, and I think it's going to get swept under the rug, and it's not something to lose sleep over, as is most injuries containing the Packers, unless it's Aaron Rodgers. But he's placed on injured reserve. We know Zadarius Smith, we talked about last week, he's out for the regular season. Hope is that he'll be back for sometime in the playoffs. So Chauncey Rivers, in normal circumstances, isn't a season-ending long-term injury, might not be that serious for the team in this defense. But we're looking at this situation now with Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith, two good starters. But behind them, it's Jonathan Garvin and Chauncey Rivers. Chauncey was getting a little bit more playing time than Garvin these past few weeks. And even with those two starters in there, get Smith and then Gary, Chauncey was getting a fair amount of playing time. So I think they like him over Garvin. At least that's what the snap counts would tell you. So we'll have to see. Maybe they elevate Tipa Galley. Or there's an in somewhere in that dude's last name. I don't know where it comes from. But when all the professional, Mike Spofford was the first I heard ever say, well, I don't even want to try to pronounce that, but Tipa Galley, we're going with that. They might try to elevate him. Had a decent preseason. They also have new inside linebacker Jalen Smith, which we'll talk about a little bit later on how he might get in there at outside linebacker. Big B. My mouth is dry right now. I need a drink of Dr. Pepper. Any thoughts you want to add on these Packers injuries? Just spray out some airtime here.
Spray out some airtime. Yeah. None of the injuries really affect us currently right now, except the Jair Alexander injury. I've seen so many people complaining about Chauncey Rivers getting hurt. Like, oh my God, everybody's getting hurt. The medical staff is garbage. The whatever other thing, physical people suck. It's like, chill. It's Chauncey Rivers. It's not a Aaron Rodgers injury. Just chill out. We're fine. We're still going 16-1. That's literally all we are looking forward to. And you're all owning about Chauncey Rivers getting hurt.
I forgot that blaming the training staff was the thing going on in time right now. That's a real thing. I cannot believe that people cannot. Green Bay fans, they cannot get it through their mind that sometimes injuries happen, things happen in the NFL, and that the staff is not always to blame. They cannot process that mentally.
Yeah. It's like it's football. They get hurt. Every team's going
Yeah.
through this, people. My
I-
goodness.
I mean, I don't know specifically about their training staff, but I know most the Green Bay Packers are some of the best in the league. So many times, I know
Yeah.
it's a lot of times teams will send their players over. It's either foot or ankle injuries. Dr. McKenzie he's got that down to the T, man.
Yeah.
But let's talk about some other teams' injuries for once here. The Bengals. We won't go down their whole injury report here, but Joe Mixon, their engine to their offense is questionable with an ankle injury at the moment. He was limited in participation all this past week. So, or actually, he was either limited or did not participate at all in practice, which kind of makes sense, but questionable right now with an ankle injury, which would obviously be a huge blow for Cincinnati. Okay, now into this game preview. Talking about Joe Mixon here. It's predicated upon Mixon taking the ease off of Joe Burrow, and their offense is able to run. They put the spanking on their division rival, the Pittsburgh Steelers, in week 3, and they also did a very good job, excellent job, beating the Minnesota Vikings in week 1 in overtime. But that offense is, Joe Mixon and Joe Burrow, the two Joes there, can get things rolling, then the Packers defense is going to have to step things up, especially Jair Alexander out, Zadarius Smith out. So their offense is, it's not Aaron or Kyler Murray in the Arizona Cardinals or Patrick Mahomes in the Kansas City Chiefs level scary. It's certainly something to watch. You can't take them lightly. Joe Burrow is currently averaging 249.5 yards per game, 2.25 touchdowns and 1 interception. And then Joe Mixon in his three wins so far, 127 yards, 90 yards, 67 yards in those 3 games for him. And then really, I've been watching, I watch the Red Zone every week downstairs in the man cave. Cheesehead TV patrons will know the legendary site that is the man cave. And watch Red Zone, and it seems like every single week, at least once, Jamar Chase will come out there, 50-yard touchdown for Cincinnati. Maybe I'm just making stuff up, but he's had a touchdown every single one of his games to start his rookie year. That's really impressive.
Yes.
They also have Tyler Boyd. And fun fact, Big B, I actually went to grade school with a kid named Tyler Boyd. And since he first drafted him in the second round of 2017, I believe, I just could not believe it, and I rooted for him specifically in his rookie year just because I knew this kid named Tyler Boyd.
Wow.
Maybe I shouldn't be leaking the personal. Well, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Okay, now Big B, I'm putting the pressure cooker up you. I'm returning the temperature up on you for some hard hitting questions. What is one thing that you think Cincinnati does very well?
Ooh, what Cincinnati does very well. Well, I have not watched any other games so far this year and know nothing about their team, so I'm just gonna go with spreading the ball around. I don't know if they do that or not, but it sounds like something they would do. They got a lot of. I completely
agree with you.
Yeah, I got a lot of weapons. They got Tyler Boyd, Jamar Chase. They got T. Higgins, CJ Ozama, who just had a big game versus Jacksonville, had 2 touchdowns. They got a lot of weapons. And with Joe Mixon, don't know if he's going to play or not, but him out of the backfield is even a bigger weapon. So Joe Burrow got some weapons down there. Take a shot every time I said weapons there, because I said that at least 4 times.
We can act as much as we want, like we didn't. Like the only prior knowledge we have on this team are like looking at the scores. I don't know anything about the Cincinnati Bengals. I'll be honest with you. I'm just like Big B. I could name you a few players from Cincinnati, but I'm not going to try to act like I can tell you what they've been doing well on offense or not. This is why you come here, folks, to the Underage Packers podcast for this
Oh, yeah.
incredible insight right here. Yeah, great points right there, Big P. Yeah,
Yep.
they got weapons. I couldn't tell you much about even more about their defense. So I guess from if you want to take from a 300-foot view here of the Cincinnati Bengals, coming from somebody doesn't care about the Cincinnati Bengals, only knows a few little things here. I don't know anybody on their defense, so that probably tells you either those guys are very underrated or that they suck.
I know Jesse Bates.
Jesse
Safety.
Bates, yes, he's
That's
a good safety.
Yep.
We'll see if he can take anything out from over top. That's because that's what a safety does right there.
There we go. Look at us.
You know, I'm sure they also have cornerbacks. They might also have some linebackers too.
Yeah.
I think those linebackers might try to sack Aaron Rodgers.
What are we doing? Oh my. Okay.
You know, yeah, like let's not even try to put up a front here. Let's try to shift off the Bengals here, okay?
Okay.
And let's try to try to provide some analysts here. Shift to the
Okay.
Packers. What do you
There we
think the Packers have been doing well recently?
Been doing well recently. Man, that's feel like an even tougher question because I should know this.
Yeah.
They really Coach LaFleur really has stuck with the run, especially last week. Been pounding the rock. AJ Dillon had a nice week last week. Aaron Jones had a very solid week the week before, and Aaron Jones went off the week before that. I feel like we're starting to continue pounding the rock every week, and when you make Aaron Jones or AJ Dillon the focal point of the offense, we really do some good things on offense, and that's where I think the offense really clicks when Aaron Jones is the focal point.
Yeah, as much as Aaron Rodgers tries to like to stat pad in the fourth quarter, seeing AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones really carry this offense is exceptional. So glad we have both those two gentlemen locked up for a few years here in the future. That's a really good one, and I'm going to go with the obvious one here. One thing Green Bay does well is blocking. We've seen it 2 weeks in a row here. Cincinnati, like I said, I don't know much about them, but that front isn't going to be as tough as presented against Packers these past 2 weeks. All right, now you get to throw a little shade. What is one thing you think Green Bay struggles at?
Ooh, Green Bay struggles at. That is definitely the pass rush. Oh my. Kingsley Keke. To be fair, Kingsley Keke had a nice game last week, but still got pushed around a lot. But otherwise, he has not lived up to what we all thought he was going to do this year. Dean Lowry has been very quiet, especially in the stat book. He has not looked very pretty.
No.
But Kenny Clark continuously destroys football games. Rashawn Gary sacking an O-lineman and Big Ben at once, which was phenomenal. And Preston Smith having a very nice year, especially setting that edge in the running game. But
yeah,
that's definitely a weak point.
Yeah, I think to myself, the pass rush isn't doing good, but then I was like, Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith haven't been playing bad, but it's those two other guys in the middle there, Dean Lowry, Kenny Clark, or not Kenny Clark. We love you, Kenny. Dean Lowry, Tyler Lancaster, Kingsley Keke have really struggled on passing downs to not be, put pressure on the quarterback less enough to not be pushed 5 yards past the line of scrimmage by their opposing offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So hopefully
and I feel like they have their spurts, like 4 drives in a row where they get amazing pressure, and then they'll go the rest of the game without getting any pressure and just get dominated by the other offensive line.
One thing that I'm going to say Green Bay does bad is being able to build off of their success. We saw it last week where they got the ball back right before half, 5 minutes left in the second quarter, and they were set to receive in the third quarter, open up a half. And would have been a great opportunity. They could have put the game away right there, scoring a touchdown, making it 21-10, doubling it up in the second half, making it 28-10. Like I said on Twitter during the game, dare the Pittsburgh Steelers offense to score 18 points in that short amount of time. They weren't able to do that. They definitely have had some drives that really, if it's against a really good offense, could end up strongly hurting them, where they go out there and score, get a stop on defense, but they're just not able to build anything off that momentum, go 3 and out, another turnover. So I don't know if that's play calling to blame, Aaron Rodgers, just a set of situations, whatever, but they have certainly struggled at that, I would say.
Yep.
Okay, I did a video earlier today or yesterday talking about Jalen Smith, so make sure you go ahead and watch that. Won't be talking too much about him. Big B, anything you want to add? I love the Packers signing Rasul Douglas right after everybody wanted them to sign Stephon Gilmore, but any thoughts on Stephon Gilmore going to the Panthers? Not the Packers.
Yeah, Stephon Gilmore. I should have never gotten my hopes up because I knew it was never going to happen in the first place, even with all them reports coming out that he was pretty much about to come here. But yeah, nobody should have believed that they were actually going to pull that off, and it didn't. So, but he's not a Green Bay Packer, so I really don't care anymore.
Right. Yeah. And I love people getting so angry with it.
Yep.
Brian Gutekunst doesn't want to win, obviously, clearly. Doesn't want to trade for a 31-year-old cornerback with a contract that he cannot afford. Just come on, Brian. Come on. Do better at your job, Brian.
Yeah, I love that video that you put out. It is spot freaking on. I love it.
I wish, man, I tried to get it back up on people's Twitter feeds, but it wasn't getting the attention I hope it deserved. But the inner monologue I have a lot with Packers Twitter fans, I just want to scream at people sometimes on the Twitter replies. So I'm thinking, why don't I just scream at them in a video? Except I'm talking to myself.
Yep. Not weird at all, but
yeah. Well, any points you think we missed? Oh, okay. Here we go. We got some big news farther down the line here. Russell Wilson, okay. If you saw last night, his middle finger looked like Larry McCarron's pinky. I mean, stealing that from Jason Wilde. But I mean, dude's probably going to be driving down the street and people are going to think he's flipping everybody off. Not a good look for an NFL quarterback. I mean, talk about issues, practicality. So he is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks, all because I think it was Aaron Donald, scary Rams pass rusher. He was throwing the ball and somehow his finger just split and right in action. That had to be painful.
Yeah, that looked like that hurt a lot.
Yes. I fractured my wrist once playing flag football. I think I told that story on here. A lot of pain. I don't want to know what it feels like to have your bone outside of his socket, whatever happened, man. But he's expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks. He heads to Green Bay with Seattle for 6 weeks from now. So we'll have to see. Definitely something to watch these next few weeks. I mean, how Seattle does and really where Russell is on his recovery path. Now we got that out of the way. Big B, any points you think we missed? Any thing you want to add today?
Man, I think we got everything. Yeah, I don't know.
Fantastic analysis by us today.
Yeah, it was an adventure for sure. It was a very crazy adventure.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's I could try to play this off, look up some stats right now about the Bengals, but I was like, whatever. Let's not try to act like something we're not. It was definitely a fun time. Instead of trying to put up a facade, just had a grand time. We're like, shoot, bro, I got to be honest with you. I know nothing. It's kind of the Matt Ramage style. Not to insult Matt Ramage. I love his show.
Yeah.
But it was a fun time. Hopefully, even if you didn't get any analysis that you were maybe expecting, you had a fun time with us like we did. Make sure subscribe to the Underage Packers YouTube channel. Follow us on all the social medias. We'll see you later. Let's get this W against the Cincinnati Bengals. Big B, let's hear your score prediction.
Cincinnati Bengals score prediction. 35-31. Packers win in a high-scoring game.
Oh, yeah, I'm feeling it. Just like going to overtime with Geronimo Allison in 2017. What an adventure that was. High scoring. I'm with you there. I'll say Packers dropping their first 40 burger on the season, 42-30.
All right.
Thanks, everybody, for watching. We'll see you later.